in the first 2 weeks of being in Kenya, like I literally decided, like, this is home, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do.
What got you to set your foot in this country?
So I always joke and I always say that I was tricked, which is kind of a joke, it's kind of true. I'm known for being funny and I'm known for being silly, so people expect that all of the time. But that's not, you're seeing maybe 5% of someone.
How has fame changed, the way you do things?
I think I'm still me. Like, I think I should probably change more.
Hello and welcome to Globe Traction. My name is Pasil Telewa. Today I sit down with Elliot Berry, aka Mlami Mwitu, Mzungu Mwitu, Mzae, Reverend, as you want to call him, as popularly known on TikTok and any other social media platforms. We speak about his moving to Kenya, how he's been able to assimilate into the Kenyan culture, besides just speaking the Sheng, and also his plans for the future, besides his personal life. I hope you enjoy Elliot Berry's story. Elliot, welcome to the show.
Thanks, thank you.
Nice seeing you.
Asante.
Yeah, and I can't wait to catch up with what has been going on in your life. Everything, right?
Yeah, kuna vitu mingi. Story ni refu sana.
Story ni refu sana. Yeah, we'll go straight to how do you find, your 1 decade plus in Kenya?
I think I like tangu nifike Kenya, like so nilivisit alafu nilihama, nilikuja kustay. I think like tangu ni land to, I always say like home is it's not a place, it's a feeling.
It is.
And like literally as soon as I came to Kenya, I was like,
you feel at home.
Hapa kuna inakaa fiti. Like I've traveled, like before I came to Kenya, like nilikuwa nimepitia South Africa, Egypt, like Uganda, like other African countries, but I never felt that like nikifika to Kenya. It's like, iko fiti. I think pengine kuna kadamu ya Kenya.
Yeah, nini specifically ulipenda?
I think like at the like nikikuja ya kwanza sikujua, it was literally just a feeling. Alafu with time, I think Kenya is just a vibe. Like tuwezi sema Kenya ni perfect. Like sisi wote tunaweza anza kucomplain.
Absolutely.
Vitu zote hapa like na sitaanza watu nifukuza. But like
unadhani sisi ni kama nyinyi huko kwenyu.
Nita disappear. So but I think like it's everything, like kuna foods naipenda, the music, even the sense of humor. Obviously like sana mimi nafanyanga comedy, and I think it's just like hata saizi nikienda majuu, like uko kwa dinner party ama kwa family function, watu wanacheka and you're like aishiki, like it's like unakaa tu kwa, it's like nimekuwa foreigner like in my own land. I would just say Kenya's a vibe. Yes, iko perfect. Kila mahali iko na milima zake. UK iko na milima, hapa iko na milima. Sasa chagua milima unataka kupanda na upande.
Yeah. What got you to set your foot in this country?
So I always joke and I always say that I was tricked, which is kind of a joke. It's kind of true. So I was just like,
I want the truth.
Yeah.
So what is the truth?
So it's true.
Yeah.
So like why watch easy movies US and UK, like unaona tu hawa like teenagers wazungu ni wabaya, like ni spoiled, wanatusi
spoiled kids, especially
like,
teenagers,
like hawa. Sasa hao walikuwa mimi, like nilikuwa hivyo. So literally like I was in the UK, like I was focusing on modeling and acting. And then my mom and dad had friends that had a children's home here in Kenya, actually in Eldoret. So they were just like, siwacha aende huko like 3 months, atembe aone vile dunia iko.
Watoto wenzake wanaishi hapa kwa children's home.
Arudi, maisha isonge endelee.
So ilikuwa kama ukuje ulan.
Yeah, but then like, so it was.
Ujue life ikuange kwa spoiled.
But I never agreed to come.
Oh, I see.
It's like I was just told, isn't your tickets, isn't your dates, utaenda utakaa na hawa, alafu utarudi. So that's why I was saying like I was strict. What age were
you then?
I was like 19, 18.
19, okay, yeah. Great.
So I was just supposed to come 3 months, alafu nichangamuke niende, niendelea na maisha ya majua, lakini I guess I always say jokes on them because sijawahi rudi vile. Naenda tu kuvisit, alafu Ni hivyo tu.
And then here you are.
I know, here
Yeah.
I am like, hey, I've stayed here for like 12 years. And like I first visited, I think that was like 15 years ago now. So it's like all of my adult life has been, in, Kenya. Like I've never lived as an adult in the UK.
And I was just asking you, what is your favorite dish? Kenyan dish?
Like watu wanafikiria ni jokes ama ni content. Ya ukweli, sikudanganyi. Ugali dondo. So unajua ugali dondo?
Ugali dodo?
Dondo.
Ugali dondo, that is chapati. Ugali dondo? Ugali dondo ni nini?
Wewe tukitoka kwa hiyo hoteli classic tunaenda kwa kibanda tunaitisha ugali dondo.
Na ugali dondo ni madondo.
So ugali ni ugali alafu dondo ni beans. So ugali beans.
Kwenda huko. Sijui mbona niliimagine ni kitu kingine hapo different. Yeah, we have really nice beans and especially the yellow beans. Yeah, I'm not sure which ones are your favorite.
No, I know.
But they are so delicious.
Hayo ugali dondo kwa kibanda, sitaki kwa hoteli, sitaki kuna kibanda moja mimi naendanga. Hata si lazima ni order, wanajua
ile kitu unapenda. Wacha tuongee kidogo juu ya foods zetu na foods za huko UK. Na si ati niko na chuki ama nini, but kuna tu kitu. Ebu tuongee story ya foods hapa.
So kuna foods naipenda, kuna foods zenye siwezi guza. Sasa nikianza kutaja hizi siwezi guza, wataanza kusema mimi ni mzungu sana. But sana ma greens nini, mboga kwanza hizi za kienyeji.
Ujazipenda?
Siwezi.
Yes.
Siwezi. Hii ni kama kukula.
Umekula omena?
Omena, nikula omena ikiniangalia.
Unaweza toa macho.
Hata nilisema kuna video nilifanya, I'm like, sasa unakula like omena aje? Unatoa kila moja kichwa ama unafaa kukula aje?
Niko na nephew wangu anatoa eyes. Yes, anatoa kichwa yote, anakula.
Alafu ana fillet.
It's very delicious. Wewe hebu enjoy food zako. Food za huku ziko more tasty, they are more fresh. Siwezi compare na food za huko kwenyu na siko ubaya.
Sasa but then mbona nimesikia umekuja na ubaya?
Sijakuja na ubaya, Elliot. Let's talk about you now settling in. How did you find, your footing?
It was really easy.
Now speak to me in the English accent. And then we're going to come to your Swahili accent. Nijuu nilienda kidogo shule, but sasa mimi ni demwa. Achana na Eldoret, mimi ni demwa shags mbaya. So speak to me on how you set foot here.
Bado nachakelea hiyo kizungu yako. So let me try and talk in English for you. So I came and like it's that kind of literally in the first 2 weeks of being in Kenya, like I literally decided like this is home, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do. Literally it was that quick. Like so I was supposed to come for 3 months and then go home. Imeisha hivyo. But
and then like within how weeks, long you decided
like
I'm not going back?
I was like I'm not going back there.
Really?
So I went back to study. So I finished studying. The funny thing is like vile watu wanaona nakuanga cheesy kwa comedy nini.
Yes.
But I'm actually a qualified psychological counselor.
Great.
So I went home and qualified as that. And then
you are in uni while you left?
No, so I did it like in 2 years. So
great.
2 years back and forth. Psychological counseling.
Which uni was that? Okay, Elliot. Nimechoma.
It's in Bolton. No, it's in Bolton. Philippi.
Yes.
Philippi.
Hey,
karibu waseme sina certificate kama.
Kwanza unajua sasa wanatafuta watu wenye wana papers.
Sisemi kama nani. Watanifukuza hapa. Bado sina citizenship.
Yes.
Lazima nicheze vizuri.
Cheza kama wewe.
So Philippi in Bolton. So I did it kind of like half distance, half like it's kind of like intensive. So you go away for like 5 days, then you do like 2 days like straight.
Oh yeah.
And I did really well. Like I think I was the first person to get like a straight 40, which is like they actually offered me a job. Like the college itself was like, can you stay and train? And I'm like, no, mi naenda Kenya. So and then I like people always say like why did you decide to stay in Kenya? Like, why did you come? What is it? And it's like, I can't really tell you.
And
Like,
yeah,
I
and I
always
was
joke
about
and
to
say,
ask.
like, like, waliniroga tu.
Aki ya Mungu.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I came.
Wacha to talk about your mother. Alitekaje, how did she feel about now you're gone?
Yeah. So that's why I always say, because obviously I always say mom kind of tricked me to come, and then like I stayed, so I always say jokes on you, mom. Like, plan backfired.
I know.
But what she always says is like, Namini mama's boy kwanza, like chief mama's boy, last born. So, but
Nitaongea hiyo story baadaye.
So she always says like, I would prefer to you to live on the other side of the world, but living your purpose, than live next door to me.
And you're not happy.
But you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in this life. And
That
we
is
talk
lovely.
we talk daily, FaceTime, whatever. She visits, we visit.
She's been to Kenya.
Yeah.
How
like
does she
at least
find
twice a year.
it?
I think they love it because I'm here.
Yeah.
It's maybe not quite their cup of tea, but they love it because
Did you come with your dad?
Yeah, so dad doesn't come as often. So usually, before Corona, tulikuwa na kind of a routine. I would go there twice a year. They would come here twice a year. But then Corona happened, schedules changed. So dad would maybe come once in a while, and then mom would come twice a year. But also they prefer us to go there.
Yeah, I think please we can order something to eat.
So,
Hey, what's up, girl? Yeah. You'll give me a mocktail. Yeah. So berry mocktail. Yeah. And I think that's it for me, for now.
yeah.
And then my guest here.
Maybe some just like a soda or something like that. And then maybe like even just a fruit salad is okay. Like even like a fruit salad is okay. Thanks. Very cold.
Very cold.
Cold,
Yeah.
colder, coldest.
With ice cubes.
Yes.
He likes ice cubes.
Yeah.
Same here.
Thanks.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So then, but I think as well, like dad is always like he would prefer to pay for me and everyone else to go there than come. Yeah, like he's a business guy, he's busy, and he prefers home than here. So.
What about your siblings? You have any?
Yeah, so I have 3 brothers, and then 3 cousin sisters, but we kind of like just all
Just like all together.
together.
Yeah.
So I'm the youngest. Okay, I'm the youngest boy, and then and then all of the girls are younger than me. So 3 brothers and then 3 girls, and it's like all of the boys and then all of the girls.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so no, they've come before. Like I think everyone has been at least once. There's one brother that's not been, and the one brother that's not been is actually Nigerian. There's a story there.
He's
So the
Nigerian.
African brother has not come, but all of the white
Wait.
ones have come.
Now I'm not. I think I got lost somewhere. So the 3 brothers.
Yes, so there's a
Are they
Nigerian.
your blood biological
So the
brothers?
Nigerian one is obviously not blood.
Your biological brother. Yeah.
So he came to study with us when we were in high school.
Yeah.
She's like 3 years older than me, and like I think for him,
Did your parents sort of adopt him or
not
something?
really. Like hey, ako na pesa yake Nigeria, but vile alikuja UK. Sasa ma holidays, weekends, kila kitu, like hata ma Christmas nini alikuwa na sisi.
Yes.
And that was from when I was about like maybe 9
So
years
you
old.
became family.
Yeah, like hata saizi bado like ako na UK citizenship, anaishi huko.
Yeah.
But he was kind of the brother that like sasa unajua your big brother not ya ukweli, but
Yes.
like
I
ukiwa
get
shule
it,
kuna
yeah.
mtu anakusumbua
Yeah.
anaenda
Kuna
kuwasort.
vile unasema manze hebu deal na huyu.
Hata simwambie
anaona
hata
tu.
paka saizi nasikia like stories zingine, it's like unakumbuka huyu kijana alikutusi hivi like
bado
hey,
namkumbuka.
tulimtandika, and I'm like aje mimi sikujua. Mimi nilijua aliacha kunisumbua.
So sai ako UK ama ako Nigeria?
UK.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
but anazunguka like job yake is medical engineering, so
Oh,
anazunguka.
great,
Hata kumpata ni ngumu.
Alafu hao brothers wengine?
So wote wako married. So wasianze kuni DM kuuliza kama niko na single brother. All of them are gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, like one of them, he runs his own businesses. One of them, he was a politician. He's retired from politics. He now runs the family business.
Yeah.
And then Emmanuel, the Nigerian one, is medical engineering. Then the girls, one is a pastor, one is in marketing, and one is also in the family business.
Great. And you look really, presentable, elegant, responsible gentleman. Yeah, and I'm glad you chose to pursue a different path, perhaps something that totally wouldn't have been the case if you're in the UK. Yeah. I think the closest you would have done is perhaps work in a charity back there or whatever.
So I think obviously my day job before I became well known.
Yes. And well known in Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I literally finished studying and then moved away from the UK. So in Kenya, I started my own organization in 2015. So now we're in 2024, so that's we're almost at 10 years of that organization.
Yeah. Tell me about your organization.
Yeah,
what do you do?
I feel like obviously there's so many organizations in Kenya and they're all doing a great job.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was just kind of a certain group of people that were not being addressed. And that's the boy child. So there's organizations, and I'm not bashing them, they're doing an amazing job.
It's
There's
great.
lots of children's homes, women's empowerment, girl child, whatever. And we need them, but then you have to ask yourself, why do we need them? So why do we need to protect women? Why are children being abandoned? And unfortunately for us, men, sana, along the lines, it's usually a guy, ali mess up,
Yeah.
mwanaume alicheza nje ama alitoroka ama what. Sana sijasema kila time.
Yeah, na ni nini ilifanya ukafikiria wacha nishughulikie boy child?
It's because I was working with other organizations, and I'm like, why? Like, it was a feeding program at children's home, and I'm like, why? Like, what's the missing link here? Like, what's missing?
Yeah.
And I just that's what I saw was missing.
Yeah. So Elliot
So najua na
anashangaa.
kenyeji yangu, mimi nilijua ni chocolate.
Elliot anashangaa unamletea nini hizi? Ili tungeitisha
Sikunywa
kama
hiyo
hii
soda bila
yangu.
tray. I want a tray.
Hautaki?
I want a tray with a glass and a strawberry and a chocolate mat, whatever this thing is. Hata yangu weka mint. Hata soda ikuwe na mboga bana. Ni sawa. Sijasikia vibaya. It's just like nobody was helping kind of the boy child, and unfortunately the boy child is who is or was causing most of the problems.
Yeah.
If you look at every spectrum, like boys that don't grow up with positive male role models are like at the top or the end of the bottom or the top of every spectrum, whether it's education, they're at the bottom, crime, they're at the top. So it's like, if we deal with the boy child, we're actually dealing with so many other issues in the community.
Yeah, so what do you do? What do you focus on in your organization?
It's kind of like a multi-pronged approach, a holistic approach.
Yeah.
So education, mentorship. Mentorship also includes discipleship, and then we also work with their talents. I always say, like, if it was only education, thanks.
Unaona umeleta kelele sana.
At least niko na mboga yangu hapa.
Yeah, alafu hiyo ni cutlery yako.
It's what was the question?
It was about what does the organization focus on?
So education, formal education, so that's now the system's changed, but it used to be high school and then either college or university, but now we're figuring out, do we still just do high school? Do we work with junior high as well? We're kind of assessing that at the moment with the new system.
Yeah.
And then mentorship, discipleship. So basically, as a single mother raising anyone is hard, but raising a teenage boy, it can be difficult. There's conversations that it's hard to have.
Yeah.
There's things that it's awkward to talk about. So basically, we have a team that kind of steps into that role of, you can talk to us about anything. So
do you let's toss to the work that you're doing.
Thanks.
Yeah. So do you work with schools? Or what is your mode of operation?
So we have partner schools, so we don't have our own school. So we send the boys to partner schools and day schools. We don't work with boarding schools just because if it was a boarding school, then the other work that we do of kind of like mentorship, you don't have that access of all the time.
Yeah.
And then talents as well. So, I'm a very creative person, as people see online. So I always say, if we only did education, if I applied to my own organization, I wouldn't have got in because I didn't like school.
Yeah.
I didn't do that well in school in some aspects. So I always love to deal with the talent side as well. So there's there's musicians, there's dance, there's football, there's beads. We're also doing like our own like crocheting beads, material work as well now.
Yeah. How are you managing to fund, the activities and everything
It's
happening?
hard.
It is.
Like I
Hata kwa
can't.
mzungu.
Hey, kutoa pesa kwa mzungu ni ngumu.
Eh.
Watu wanatafuta sponyo mzungu alafu wanajua kumbe anaweza kuwa na pesa lakini kutoa shida tu.
Kwanza hao wa England hao.
Yes, legit.
Anyways, how are you managing to fund for the organization?
So most of the funds does come from the UK. But imekuwa ngumu. Like tangu corona, hata corona ikikuwa haikuwa ngumu sana. Lakini tangu ishe, because the UK government had so many programs of helping and supporting whilst corona was there. But I think since corona there's been so many kind of issues that have come up in the UK or the US or Europe that people are still helping and still giving, but they're giving more to like local stuff. If like
local charity.
It's like if you have a choice of giving £10 to a homeless person that lives there, like on your doorstep, or somebody that you've never seen, you've never been there, they're gonna give to the person that's on their doorstep. So imekuwa ngumu. Alafu ma taxes, ma exchange rates, inatugonga. But it's been, most of the funds does come from the UK. But like I just said, so we've started income generating projects here as well. So we used to kind of buy crafts here and then sell there. And then we started making crafts here. So some of the boys and the mums that are in the program, so they would make it and then we'd take it to the UK and sell it. But now we're also selling here as well.
To the locals?
Yes. Yeah. And it's going well. We've been doing that for about 6 weeks now. And it's going well.
And how do you manage to source for this particular person qualifies for our program? How do you do your selection?
It's a bit different now than it used to be. We used to do kind of just like a mass at the end of class 8, start of form 1. If you fit these requirements, you can come, you're interviewed. It's quite a rigorous process, just because space is limited. But now it's more kind of like a more kind of targeted approach. So it'd be like people don't necessarily come for an interview. We would spot somebody within a school or within the community, and then we would assess them that way. Yeah.
Great. There's so much to find out from what you're doing, and I'd like to know, how has the community received what you're doing?
The organization side?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been good. I think people were ready for that. I think, and again, it comes back to that whole, it shouldn't really be girl child versus boy child. It should be child. So I think people were ready. I think people saw like, hey, by the way. Yeah, like I think maybe even in the West you'll be asked the question of like, why do you only help boys? But here people are like, no, like tunajua kwa nini, because they see the impact. Now
that you're talking to me about they see the impact, what has been the impact? Because I cannot see the impact from where I sit, because I'm in a totally different, but from your area, your community, what has been the impact?
So when I talk about like impact and change, I always look at like individual people. Like people. It's not a statistics. It's a story. It's a transformation. It's emotions. It's everything. So for me, it's like when I see that, we've been going for what we just figured out. We've been going for like almost 10 years now. I've got 45 kids in the program now, but we've also got about 40 that have been in the program and now they're out. They're living life. They're married. They've got kids. They're raising their kids, they've got jobs. That to me is why we're doing what we're doing. Like when I'm driving down the street and I'll see somebody walking past, and they'll wave and I'm like, oh, it's so-and-so that we finished with like 3 years ago, and he's at his job or he's working. Or you'll see a WhatsApp status and somebody will be, just leaving job. It's like, that's why we do what we do. It's the individual kind of lives changed rather than the whole huge picture. I think individual stories create the whole
rather than the whole picture.
A
little bit about you and your learning of Swahili. Uko fluent sana. In fact, unashinda some of the Kenyans. when you speak your Swahili?
Some of the Kenyans kama wewe ama
Mimi najua Elliot, unajua
naona kizungu unanishinda sasa, sijui kama na kushinda Swahili.
I'm actually very good in Swahili. Sasa niambie wewe ulijifunzia wapi Kiswahili?
Like I'm the worst person in it because like hata sijui. Like literally I came for the 3 months and then in those 2 years, I would say within the first 2 years of coming to Kenya, I nilijua Kenya ninajua sahi.
Within the first 2 years.
Na Swahili yangu ni mbaya. Okay, ni poa lakini mbaya.
Sasa hiyo poa mbaya ndo tunaongelea.
Alafu Sheng, so the like Swahili like sawa the first 2 years, but then like Sheng, shida ya Sheng ina change kila siku. Sasa Sheng it's a constant evolution of what
so you know. So ulitafuta book ama ni app ama ni nini?
I always say like I didn't go to school when I was at school. I would not go back to school to learn a language or anything like that. So no, I just like literally from my environment. You know, like I said, like most of the work that I do is with kids, like youth, nini, like you just like you learn because you have to learn. You can't be like I always say like wezi kuwa unaenda kwa mtaa unadeal na mtu hajawahi ongelesha mzungu alafu unaongea kizunguzungu. Like sasa atakuangalia like wewe buda. Like
alafu nini sasa ikakudraw kwa you know wewe kujifanya ama kupretend ama kuact ni kama wewe ni Mlami Mwitu like wewe ni mzungu kwanza Mluya. How did you get that sort of
like,
you know
I
approach?
planned really like I just did like one video nalienda kuendanga like alafu zimeendelea kuenda. It wasn't like a plan, like even the accent like ini vile naongea like hata mostly like mtu akibump into me like super ama nini they're like hey kumbe unaongeanga hivyo like ni mimi tu. The funny thing is I didn't even know like the whole like Luya thing. I didn't even know that I had the Luya accent. Like I didn't like I was told. It's like mbona unaongea kama Luya?
Actually uko na Luya.
My first video was kusema like umeunderstandanga. I didn't know that.
Sema hiyo video.
So ilikuwa naambia watu.
Umesikia nikisema hebu sema hiyo video. Sasa nataka unini. That is now the Luya, you know, the Luya Swahili you speak.
Ilikuwa tu naambia watu like unajifundisha watu Swahili vibaya. Swahili sanifu.
Nataka useme vile ulisema.
That's what I'm saying. So ilikuwa nasema kusema Swahili sanifu ni kusema umeunderstandanga, sio kuelewa ama sijui nini. Hii ni mbaya. Sanifu ni kuunderstandanga ama ni nimeunderstandingi. Alafu ilienda like ili just I think like I posted that video for the first 2 days. It was a bit, you know, check like what wanakuwa na cheka nini alafu on the Monday
went viral.
That's the day I say my life changed forever and the wide rudi normal then.
Niambie sasa what changed your life forever? Nani huyo that
like that
moment?
Viral thing. I mean it's literally I went into the gym like niliingia kwa gym na drop watoi asubuhi alafu niingia gym direct. Alafu nikitoka ilikuwa nimeacha simu kwa locker, nimetoka nimeshika simu and I'm just seeing like hey hizi notifications ni mingi. Like my assistant had called me like 20 times. I'm seeing all of these notifications like hizi ni nini. And literally I walked out of the gym door and I heard somebody whispering behind me like si ni yeye and I'm like since
what
then
is it?
imekuwa hivyo tu.
You've gone viral.
But I mean it's great. I always say like kuenda viral ama kukua famous or whatever, iko na positives, iko na negatives. So you just, you know, you roll with the positives and you deal with the negatives.
So how did you receive the viralness? You know, how did you receive your popularity? Because now you're no longer that Elliot that was just having their own private moment.
I mean it's good. But privacy is not a thing anymore. You know, you can't go anywhere. You can't be grumpy.
I know.
That's what I really miss. You know, you can't be mean. Like I miss being mean.
You can be grumpy. Just put on your sunglasses and put on a wig.
See, sasa nimeshavaa wig. Sasa nitavaa wig ingine. Sasa ni nywele yangu. Lakini as I'm saying sawa. So wewe for example unajulikana but unajulikana kama journalist. You know, if it's a singer, you're a singer, but you're known for being a singer. People don't expect you to be singing all of the time.
Of course, you cannot
You know,
be
people
walking
don't
singing.
expect you to be interviewing people all of the time.
Yeah.
I'm known for being funny.
So people expect you
So
to
people
make
expect
them
you to
laugh.
be funny
Yeah,
all of the time.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that are like, hey, kumbe umetulia. I'm like,
Eh, kumbe unakuanga
sasa unataka
umepoa
aje? Like
hivyo.
nimetembea, nimeamka tu saa hizi, nimeenda mall,
Nimechoka.
sijakula. Like, achana na mimi. Wacha tu nikule alafu nitachangamuka. But you know, I'm known for being funny.
I
And I'm
know.
known for being silly. So people expect that all of the time. But that's not, you know, that's, I always say with social media, you know, you're seeing maybe 5% of someone.
Exactly.
You know, you're not seeing
Talking
the full
about
person.
5%, do you know lots of Luya words? Because also the impression is Mzungu Mwitu is more of, you know, like Kiswahili.
Mluya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about some Luya. Speak some
I
Luya
think ni
words.
salamu tu.
Ya kusema
Like Oriena. So unasema Dimalam.
Ndimlam.
Yeah. Ama Amba Ita. But yeah, that's it. Like, that's why I say, like, I'm not a language person. Swahili just waliniroga tu.
Walikuroga tu.
Yeah.
Somebody will be wondering kama unaishi Eldoret ama unakaa Eldoret. Kwa nini usiongee Kikale?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, yeah, like nimeishi LD, like hata nikilearn Swahili ilikuwa naishi like LD lakini ushago LD hata si town. Like past the airport, like ndani.
Yeah.
And yet nimetokelezea na hiyo accent ya Kiluya, I don't know. I always say the only kind of logical reason I can say is that maybe if you mix English with Swahili.
Ebu Mlami Mwitu, tell me what was that one gig that you got after you went viral? Yeah. And then you are like, I didn't know, you know, I would make money out of these talents of mine.
Okay, siongele pesa juu. So umesema gava wanatafuta pesa saizi, nikisema nimepewa pesa nitakujiwa leo. But let me talk in the same way, like of the biggest.
Yeah.
Our things like, you know, like I've interacted with so many brands, Kenyan brands, big ones, small ones.
Yes.
Some of them I've been interacting with them for like 3 years, like since the start, and I'm still working with them. And then there's other things, like just being on radio, like, or TV. It's like, why? Like, why am I on radio and TV? I'm just me. That's still weird to me. If you go to events and then you see people that you think are famous, but they know who you are, that's very strange to me even now.
And then you pinch yourself
It's
and
like,
be like,
okay, mi nafaa
niko
kujua wewe ni nani,
famous.
lakini wewe hufai kunijua.
Yes.
And that happens like all of the time. Like I was at a launch event the other day, and some of like my favorite actors that I watch on like Kenyan dramas and whatever, I'm going up like, oh, like, I really like you in that series. And they're like, hey, tulikuona lakini tuliogopa kukuja sijui. Like, sasa ni mimi tu.
How has fame changed, you know, the way you do things?
I think I'm still me. Like, I think I should probably change more than I have. Like, I'm still just me. I think the only thing I would do is I don't share certain things. You know, like kwanza my kids, like, I'll never share their faces on social media or whatever.
How many are they now?
2.
2.
Yeah.
I see your being Mlami Mwitu has taken you into the Kenyan local production of The Real Housewives.
Nimesikia hiyo. I've also heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know
so
where I
are
heard
you
it.
a friend to some of the casts or what?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for season 1, I was friends with a few of the ladies.
Yeah.
The ladies that I was friends with for season 1, they didn't renew for season 2. And then just by luck would have it, or chance would have it, one of my good friends then joined for season 2. She thanks me and blames me that she's in it, because we were talking like a week before she signed on.
Yeah.
And was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I'm like, do it. Like, what can go wrong?
I'm not sure if she's the friend that was also talking to me about wanting to be in it.
Probably.
But she was really
Nervous.
excited and looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
but nervous
so how
as well.
is she finding it?
I mean, you'll have to ask her. She's Farah Ismail. I think it's been
I
a
didn't
learning.
want you to mention the name.
Nimesema.
But Mzungu Mwitu ni nani?
Mi ni nani?
Eh?
But you can ask her. She's loved it. She's hated it. She's excited. She's scared.
Yeah.
You know, with this kind of whole thing, it's like reality TV is a whole other animal. You don't know how it's gonna be until you do
I know,
it.
yeah.
But we've done it, so we'll have to see.
You've done it. Is there any drama we should look forward to?
Hey, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Yeah.
But all I can tell you
No,
is
just
that
give me snippets.
there's drama.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's obviously drama.
season 1 aired last week. Sorry, episode 1 aired last week. Episode 2 will be coming out shortly. I'm not in episode 1. I was shocked at the drama that's already happened in episode 1. One of the ladies threw a glass of water on another one of the ladies.
That is minimal drama, Elliot. I think you can agree with me looking at
it gets worse.
franchises
It gets
of
worse.
The Real Housewives. So I'm looking forward to what are you particularly bringing to the show?
I mean, obviously, I'm there as a friend. I'm not a main cast, so
Yes.
I'm a larger-than-life character already, so you have to kind of cheza chini kidogo.
Hey, listen to you. I'm a larger than life already.
So naona nimekuwa na kierere hapa na hiyo chocolate yako.
Ndio naona vile.
So, but yeah, there's drama. I'm not involved. Okay, I'm involved in a little bit of a drama, but nothing. Mi siwezi choma.
Where's it, Choma?
Yeah.
Looking at our local productions and looking at, on the international scale, at the international scene, on the international at the global scale, what is it that you would say about, you're more than a decade being in this country? Yeah.
On the entertainment scene?
Yes, on the entertainment scene.
I would say Kenya is really coming up. I would say we've still got a long way to go, but I think the moves that have been made maybe in the last 5 years is what it took the West to do in maybe 50 years.
Yeah.
So I think I can't say it's the same. I think there's still a lot of room to be growth to be had, but I don't think it's going to take us 50 years to get there like it took the West. I would say in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, it's going to be neck and neck. The same way like Nollywood and Hollywood.
Yeah.
If you look at the revenue,
Yeah.
it's almost the same.
What has changed, from if you'd opt to do what you're doing from, your village back in the UK, yeah, and you being in this part of...
Umesikia amesema
Sawa,
village.
but unataka niseme
Village.
town.
Ni village,
Boro.
ni sawa tu.
Is it a parish? Is it a village?
Hey,
Is it a town?
kwanza unajua parish. Wewe umezunguka hiyo dunia.
Sasa wewe.
Ni sawa tu. Ni village, ni ka village.
No,
tu.
yani najaribu unipaintie picture yani.
So what has changed? I mean everything.
Yeah.
I mean I'm from a family background of family business in the leisure and hotel industry. Kind of
Great.
nilikuwa guaranteed direct kazi, soft
Yes,
life.
Yeah.
Alafu nimekuja Kenya, okay, saizi, okay, niko well known or whatever, but back I was just a kid volunteering and doing
An ordinary
humanitarian
kid.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot. I think now I would say my life has kind of done it's done a 360. I've kind of gone all the way around. So I started in the UK, soft life, whatever, kind of going into acting and modeling. That was kind of my trajectory. I gave it all up, completely switched around, went into counseling, humanitarian work, whatever.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, it's kind of come back.
Entertainment.
It's come back.
Yeah, and someone will be like, why wouldn't you have that soft life, have a good life
I
in the
don't
UK?
know.
Because you had everything put
Everybody.
in place.
Kila mtu.
Why did you make the decision to come and gamble this way?
It makes sense.
That makes sense.
No.
Do you
Nikiangalia
regret?
kazi ya huko.
Tell me, how do you find it? Do you regret the decision you made?
No. That's what I say. I mean, maybe I should.
Cheers.
Maybe I'm a little bit cheesy because
Yeah.
maybe I should prefer it there, but I don't. This is home. I always say, if God told me to go back to the UK, I'd think about it. That's how, I'm even if God told me himself, I'd be like, hey, uko sure Buddha. So
I know uja mention, lakini weather yetu pia ndio imefanya ukastick around.
hey, lakini imechanganyikiwa of late. Sijui nini inaendelea.
Sema tu kweli.
Okay, weather inabamba lakini sasa sinaweza kuwa huko UK niishi soft life, alafu pesa mzuri nilipia tu ndege wiki moja niende ka Spain hivi nirudi.
Uende
lakini si weather.
mnapenda kwenda Spain, naitaje hii place, Tenerife.
Huyu amezunguka huyu.
Hapana, si najua kwa sababu wengi wenyu mnaendanga huko.
Yeah.
You never think about coming to Africa. You don't think about
Africa, they feel like it's the other side of the world.
I know.
Wanaenda US, but US ni mbali kushinda. But it's I don't know, I guess ni vile tuna portray ama wana portray.
I wanted to ask you, there is the bit about Kenyan men, making their money sustaining their family. And the fact that you are saying, kama sisi wa Kenya, I think you've already Kenyanized yourself. You've already Kenyanized yourself. So how do you make your money?
So obviously, like my day job, like the NGO, so I have a salary from that. And so technically I have my Kenyan job with the NGO, and then I have my UK job with the NGO.
So the NGO is registered both in Kenya and in the UK.
So I'm paid for my UK job for the
Yes.
NGO, and then I'm volunteering for my Kenyan job with the NGO.
I see.
Yeah. So all of my taxes and whatever is paid in the UK.
Yeah.
So I can't be taxed again. Please.
You did have
Please. I have to say.
Zacchaeus kid.
We have to say. I love, honestly, like I'm pursuing citizenship here.
Yeah.
So it's in like some of the final stages.
Great. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really like I just.
How is the process?
Long.
It is, but it's also long in the UK.
Yeah.
Kwanza UK.
Yeah. No, I get
Even though
that.
you're cutting immigration and stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether I can say UK is a bit more straightforward.
No.
I don't. There's differences, but
Yeah.
like I said, there's none of it's perfect.
Actually, there's differences. I think both of them have their
But I've
own
never applied
issues.
for the UK one, so I don't know
Of
how
course,
bad it
because
is.
you're yeah. So congratulations. What even got you to think perhaps I need to get the citizenship here?
I think it's a lot easier to work here as a Kenyan rather than like with the work permits
foreigner?
and whatever
Yeah.
and renewing.
Yeah.
So I have to renew my work permit every like so often, and it's not bad. It happens. It's but it's just a long process. And I think for the last 3 years online and before that, like everyone's being like, "Hey, so in Kenya bana." So it's like, okay, come in Kenya, wacha nikuwe Mkenya.
You've truly assimilated. Na si
kama.
kwa ubaya, yeah. For you to talk about getting paid from the work that you do. Yeah, that is not the only way you make money. I understand you do comedy. Do you do it formally, officially?
I mean, I've never done stand-up. I think I'm scared of stand-up.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did I have a thought that
I'm
you've
scared
done
of stand-up,
Why?
This is the thing. With online, you're a bit protected.
So you're hiding behind.
Yeah, and also it's like, kama ni mbaya unaweza toa baadaye. We, kama ni live. Kama ni stand-up.
Kama
ni mbaya ni mbaya. Kama ni mbaya ni mbaya. Kama umechoma. Watu hawacheki.
Yeah.
So I'll do it. I will do it. I promised my fans for the last like 2 years I'll do it.
Yeah.
I just don't know when.
Yeah.
Obviously, like there was like Churchill show. I was supposed to do it, and then I was in the UK, and it just didn't work out, and then we kind of never happened. I'll do it. I promise. You've heard it here first.
So it's the NGO, and then you thinking about getting into stand up, and then what else?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's content, the content creation, partnering with brands and things like that. And I think as well, obviously I'm used to being on TV and radio as the interviewee.
Yes.
But where I want to be is where you're sat. So that's kind of my passion.
It's gonna work out.
That's
It
my
all
passion.
starts with a dream.
Yeah.
And I see you already have this big fan base, so it's gonna be easy for you. Yeah.
And I have the YouTube channel which is called Mlami Bila Filters, which is where I do this. But I talk with celebrities that are also friends, and then we just talk real stuff.
Yeah.
And my one rule is that there's no rules. So you can't tell me what I'm allowed to ask or I'm not allowed to ask.
Great. Talking about there's no
That's
rules.
for my rules. That is not your rules.
Elliot, cheers to there's no rules.
For Mlami Bila Filters, there's no rules.
For
this one, there's
Traction-
so many rules.
For Globe Traction, there is no rules.
There's so many rules.
Anyway,
Anyway.
tell me about how your family, because I understand you have two amazing kids. How have they been able to assimilate themselves into the Kenyan, culture?
Yeah, I mean, they're half Kenyan.
Yeah.
So,
Are they?
yeah, so they're,
tell me.
so they're, they don't have to assimilate. They're already Kenyan.
Tell me about their halfness.
So they're Wanyama and Wekesa.
Yes. Is that their real names?
Yeah. Yeah, no, kuna Wanyama na Wekesa wako na UK passport.
Because serious.
Hey, wako
This is
nayo.
no joke. So is the mother to
Yeah, their
Wanyama and
mom is,
Wekesa
their
Kenyan?
mom is Kenyan, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So mama yao ni Nasimiyu, ama? Mama yao ni nani?
So that's
Yeah.
really weird that you mentioned that name. But
Is
I
it?
always say, for the fame life, like I chose this life, she didn't.
I know.
So I
Yeah.
always kind of like
So can you just give her
I
a
give
name?
her you might have already mentioned her name. So I always give her that privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
But
Nasimiyu
obviously
will
they're
work
Bukusu names.
for,
so,
yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
How does Wanyama and Wekesa know what their dad is up to?
So they know now. So obviously I started being famous when they were around 5, so they kind of get it, but they don't even know what TikTok is and things like that.
Yeah.
I think one of them, when he was in school, the teacher said, like, where does your parent work? And he said, my daddy works at TikTok. It's like, kind of, but no. But now they get it, you know, like, yeah, one of them, you know, and they're both quite like me. One's got kind of my funny, crazy side, and
Your
one's got my kind of like more serious, kind of grumpy side.
When you're not being this comedian and you're being a father, how do you spend your time?
I mean, that's what I think that's my number one job, is being a dad, to be honest. Like, you know, fame, whatever, money, whatever. You know, I think that's my favorite job and my number one job, and my hardest job is being a dad.
Yeah.
People tell me I'm doing a good job. I don't know. I think being a parent is one of the hardest jobs out there. There's no, well, there is manuals, but every kid is different. There's no cheat code.
Yeah.
You're gonna fail. You're gonna do good. You're gonna do the wrong thing. You're gonna say the wrong thing. You're gonna do the right thing. Gonna be good days, bad days, but yeah.
What
parenting.
challenges have you faced since you set foot in this country? Yeah.
I would always say there's, you know, when it comes to racism, there's positive and negative racism. So positive racism, so from my own personal experience, so positive racism would be, you know, for example, like mimi nikienda mahali, alafu, let's say kwa example, like sisi tunaingia kwa restaurant, same time ama wewe uko mbele yangu, alafu waniserve kwanza. That's now positive on my side, positive racism, but it's negative racism on your side. So there's that as well, like, you know, there's positive racism, and that's when, you know, just because, unfortunately, just because like rangi ni tofauti, kuna watu wana kutreat different, wanakupea heshima hata kama kuna kitu mzuri mwaifanya. Kama
sahi kuna mtu ata imagine ni wewe utalipa hii bill.
Hey, silipi. Mimi natoroka mbio, ona vile nimevaa sneakers. Mimi natoroka.
Kwanza hizo sneakers ni more expensive kushinda.
Mimi nakimbia.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned a bit about racism, because in developed countries and especially in Europe and, you know, the rest of, the racism for the black people would be mostly negative, not to be, you know.
Yeah.
But then there is a debate about embracing. How do people, because you have been in plenty of places, how do you embrace all of these, you know, circumstances?
I mean, even this, for example, even my name, so Mzungu Mwitu, I'm Mlami Mwitu. That, like, for the first 5 years, when anybody calls me Mzungu, ilikuwa inanibo. You know, like I mean, you've traveled, like, you've been in the UK, like, mtu hawezi kuita tu, like, oh yeah, African.
You black girl.
Hey,
of course you know you're black girl.
Yeah, but what a
But you don't have,
So that was like a real thing for me. I was like, hey, bona, like, you Wi-Fi. But then, you know, I always think, you know, like I've said a few times, like, positives and negatives. It's like, okay, I can either get really irritated by being called Mzungu Mwitu, I'm a Mlami Mwitu, or I can be like, you know what, let's embrace it, let's use the positives, let's work with it. So yeah, me, niite tu Mlami ni sawa.
Thanks so much, Mlami. Najua tuko bado spring, hatujaenda summer. Yeah, and I can see from your suit.
Thanks.
And as we usually say on the show, we like to give you a little bit something. So I got something here for you. But then I would love that you wait.
Sasa unafanya nivai blue na orange.
Yeah.
It's all right. Let's do it.
This is a hoodie. Yeah. So are you able to take off your jacket so that you can have this on?
Let's do it.
If it doesn't fit, I'm happy to replace it for you.
Do you think it's going to be small or big?
I never like to guess.
I'm trying to catch you now.
I never like to guess.
I'm trying to catch you.
But then your height, it's surprising because you're a little bit taller.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
But when people are seeing you on screen, you're just seeing this, you don't know.
And I think I used to have a different feel about your height. Yeah. Let's do this. But sasa si ulikuwa unataka kwa model, ndio mtu afikirie kwa modeling.
Yeah.
You're quite talented, Elliot. Mlami Mwitu ameweza. Mlami Mwitu ameweza. Cheers to Mlami Mwitu. So what is it that scares you from starting over in a different country? Is it the culture, the food, or maybe the language? I hope you got some inspiration from Elliot Berry's story. Many thanks for watching the show today, and make sure you join us again next Friday, same time, same place. And if you have a story you'd like to share with us, please don't hesitate. Write to us through globetraction@standardmedia.co.ke or DM us on our social media platforms at Globetraction or at KTN News KE. You can also head over to social media onto my platforms at Pasil Telewa on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube for more behind the scenes and many other amazing stories. But until then, I hope to catch up with you soon, same time, same place. Bye-bye for now.